Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the biggest prahar on Bhrashtachar by Prime Minister Modi. In a terse message to the ecosystem, Prime Minister Modi today said that those who sought to bring the autonomy and impartiality of the central investigative agencies into question must know that his government doesn't lack the political will to act against the corrupt, and the action against corruption will continue unabated in mission mode. At the launch of CBI's Diamond Jubilee celebrations, Prime Minister Modi extolled the CBI's role in giving strength to the common man and said that the agency had emerged as a brand of truth and justice. Throwing his weight behind the CBI, the Prime Minister said that the agency must continue to act against the corrupt, however powerful, without any fear, as the country and the Constitution stands by its side. Listen in to Prime Minister Modi's warning and statement to the ecosystem.
जिनके खिलाफ एक्शन ले रहे हैं वो बहुत ताकतवर लोग हैं। बरसों बरस तक उन्होंने भी एक इकोसिस्टम बनाया है। इकोसिस्टम अक्सर उनके काले कारनामों को कवर देने के लिए, आप जैसी संस्थाओं की छवि बिगाड़ने के लिए एक्टिव हो जाता है। एजेंसी पर ही हमला बोल दो, ये लोग आपका ध्यान भटकाते रहेंगे, लेकिन आपको अपने काम पर फोकस रखना है। और मैं आपको भरोसा दिलाता हूं, देश आपके साथ है, कानून आपके साथ है, देश का संविधान आपके साथ है। आज देश में करप्शन के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करने के लिए राजनीति की इच्छा शक्ति में कोई कमी नहीं है।
As the Prime Minister called out the ecosystem for maligning the agencies, the same lobby is once again out to target the agencies, claiming that they're dancing to the tunes of the central government. Listen in.
भारत के प्रधानमंत्री सीबीआई की जो तारीफ कर रहे हैं, वास्तव में उसकी कार्यशैली के कारण तारीफ कर रहे हैं या सीबीआई प्रधानमंत्री जी के जेब की संस्था बन चुकी है, इसके कारण तारीफ कर रहे हैं? आपने तो सीबीआई को लेकर बड़े बड़े आरोप लगाए और आज जब वही सीबीआई आपके इशारे पर नाचने लगी, राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदियों को जबरदस्ती पकड़ पकड़ के जेल में डालने लगी, तो सीबीआई आपके लिए अच्छी हो जाती है।
Time and again, what opposition has been saying, that they are for the independence of or autonomy of CBI, independence of CBI. It should not be parrot of government. This is the major allegation. So why should CBI should be worried? Opposition is saying that CBI should be fair. This is only demanding why they are being pressurized.
Prime Minister क्यों उनको शाबाशी दे रहे हैं? उनका तो काम है अलग, क्लियर इंडिकेशन है भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब से सीबीआई को बोला जा रहा है भाई अच्छी तरह काम करो, जिसको भी पकड़ना है। पर मेरे बीजेपी वाला कोई मंत्री, कोई एमपी, कोई एमएलए, चाहे कोई पार्टी का है, उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई नहीं होगी। लेकिन जो भी ऑपोजिशन लीडर है, जो भी कोई कोशिश करेगा उठने की, उसके लिए वो सब तैयार हैं।
Prime Minister Modi's statement comes at a time even as Rahul Gandhi had today approached the Surat Sessions Court challenging his conviction in the defamation case over his Modi surname remark. After securing a bail in the defamation case, Rahul Gandhi said that he was fighting to save democracy against Mitrakal and that in his struggle, truth was his weapon and his support. Now, even as Rahul Gandhi talks of having truth as his support, let's also remind you that the Gandhis, including Rahul Gandhi, have been accused by the same agencies of fraud and illegally acquiring the assets of National Herald newspaper, and at the moment are out on bail in that particular case. And not just that, Rahul Gandhi's trip to Surat was almost as if it was a show of strength for a political rally, not just to a court of law. And ladies and gentlemen, just like Rahul Gandhi, many other opposition leaders, including those from the Congress and the Trinamool Congress, have corruption charges against them. And these are matters of fact, but they continue to cry foul, alleging selective action by the agencies. So that brings me to the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Is fighting Graft not democratic? Does it really compromise democracy? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Suhel Seth, columnist and marketing guru, Dr. Sanjay Jha, author and suspended Congress leader, my friend, who I always introduce him like that. And many people, like to take me on that introduction. Also joining us tonight on the show, Brijmohan Srivastav, spokesperson of the NCP, Syed Faisal Ali, National General Secretary of the RJD, Sudhanshu Trivedi, National Spokesperson and Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha from the BJP, joining us in just a minute. But my first question goes to Ms. Priyanka Kakkar, National Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Priyanka Kakkar, तकलीफ क्या है आपको एजेंसीज से? It's not troubling everybody in the country. It is probably asking questions to a few where there are allegations of elections and of corruption, and 2 of your senior leaders are in jail for a few months, haven't got bail, and there are observations made by the court. Let the investigation be done. Everybody will know the truth. Why are you opposing the investigation agencies and saying that is what is really compromising democracy? What's the connection?
Good evening to everyone, Navika ji. Navika ji, we are not scared of any investigation. We have faced investigations since we came into power. We've been imprisoned to ensure that the BJP can portray to the masses that we are corrupt like them, and then we come out clean after a few years. All of that has happened with us. We have no problem. The only people who are actually scared of any judge is Modi ji, because he is directly connected with Adani ji. One thing. Secondly, we are talking about an agency here where their bosses accused each other. You'll recall Alok Verma and Asthana ji recall that they were both alleging that they both took bribes. Nothing happened. So see, CBI has no accountability. It can plant news like we saw in the Harshad Mehta scam. It can not investigate, say, the Vyapam scan. You'll recall the Moin Qureshi case. So there are several such instances, and questions will be asked when in cases of, if we just look at corruption and not the overall projection, just for corruption cases, the CBI's conviction rate is 3.96%, and Aam Aadmi Party isn't saying that. This is a poor CVC Commissioner Ashri Kumarji saying this. Secondly, if you want to make CBI if you don't make the police officers accountable, they can plant any news, you can debate about it, and nothing will happen. It will only ruin reputation. Who will give back that reputation?
Ruining reputations is suddenly a concern for you. India Against Corruption was a platform
that
where
is what they want
charges were flying thick and fast without any evidence, my friend.
Let me tell you.
And now today you are saying that ruining reputation is a concern for you, Priyanka Kakkar?
See, when we started investigation on the charges that you mentioned, Navika ji, the BJP snatched the ACB from us, which was with the Delhi government till 2015. One.
Oh.
Secondly, let me also tell you that the धिंडोरा जो पीटा जा रहा है about CBI conviction rate, जिसमें ये kidnapping का केस भी ला रहे हैं, murder का केस भी ला रहे हैं, सारे केसेस मिला रहे हैं corruption को छोड़ के, वो conviction rate in fact वो corruption rate 2006 में best था 72.9. Today they claim 67%. So you look at it either way, the questions will be raised. Now all we are saying is, let's be fair. You want to show you are a fair agency. Please start with Adani. सबसे पहले please start with Adani. 18 विपक्ष की parties are demanding that a JPC be set up. You know, in fact, CBI was once even.
So let me get Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi to respond to you. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, how do you respond to the issues raised by Ms. Priyanka Kakkar of the Aam Aadmi Party?
आ गई
सुधांशु जी, जवाब दीजिए।
नहीं आ रही भाई।
I think there's. So, Sudhanshu ji, jawab dijiye.
Now I'm getting my voice. In the meantime, in between, I have lost something. But ये echo हो रहा, पहले तो इसको ठीक करा दीजिएगा. One thing, I was listening the representative of Aam Aadmi Party, Priyanka ji. I was amazed. This is the party which has said Sari Sansad chor hai. This is the party which has said that we will never enter into politics. This is the party which has came to power not within years, not within months, within weeks of formation by joining hands with whom? जिसके लिए दिल्ली में ऑटो पे पीछे लगाया था शीला दीक्षित जी की फोटो के साथ बेईमान या ईमानदार. And then they subsequently wrote the letter and get the support of बेईमान. And she talked about 2006 when the conviction rate of CBI was very high. So I would like to ask, can she name a single political party other than Aam Aadmi Party, because that they are formed only in 2013, that whose leaders were not facing any charges of corruption investigated by CBI during 2006? I want an answer. You can name a single political party, whether it was Mulayam Singh Yadav ji, Samajwadi Party, BSP, RJD, DMK, Akali Dal or Congress. And this is the party who has listed that these are the most corrupt politicians of the country, in which they have named everybody from Lalu Prasad Yadav ji to A. Raja to Sharad Pawar ji and etc. And now they are getting the letters in support of them. And this is the party who has said the moment there is an allegation, there should be resignation and investigation should follow. Now they say that even if they are in prison, they are kattar imandar. Now in Delhi they are taking an alibi that the ACB is not with them. I want to ask, for 1 year full term has gone in Punjab. How many corruption charges which you were leveling at the time against Sri Amrinder Singh, kitne utha diye bataiye bhai? Not even a single. So that shows, and rather than getting support from those politicians whom you yourself has depicted as the most corrupt politicians of the country when you entered into the politics, I think the sheer dichotomy and duplicity of the character which has been reflected by Aam Aadmi Party is unparalleled in Indian history, because they are a party who has leveled the allegation on the senior leaders and tendered an apology half a dozen times against Sri Arun Jaitley ji, against Sri Nitin Gadkari ji, Kapil Sibal ji, I think Vikramjit Singh Majithia also, Manish Tiwari also. तो आज भी कर रहे हैं, कल माफी मांगेंगे, आज कह रहे हैं, कल बदल देंगे. वो टोपी थी ना, मुझे चाहिए जन लोकपाल, पूछिए पंजाब में बना दिया जन लोकपाल. वो टोपी तो अब जनता को पहना दी गई. तो आई थिंक नाउ इट इज बीन प्रूवन दैट दोज हु क्लेम टू बी द सेल्फ प्रोक्लेम्ड वन एंड ओनली द चेस्ट चैंपियन ऑफ करप्शन, द एंटी करप्शन, नाउ दे हैव बिकम द मोस्ट, यू कैन से, मतलब उस ढंग का करप्शन किया है जो दुनिया में क्या देश में अद्भुत है. एक दारू के बदले में दूसरी बोतल फ्री. गजब का काम किया है पूरे देश में. क्या मॉरलिटी, क्या करप्शन, और किस ढंग की बात, कितना हल्ला मचाया था सेकेंड वेव में. साहब इतने लोगों की ऑक्सीजन कमी से डेथ हो गई, एंड दे कैन नॉट प्रोड्यूस अ सिंगल सर्टिफिकेट फ्रॉम देयर हॉस्पिटल्स under their own government. So that's why we can say that these are the same parties which were facing corruption charges since 30 years. Shri Lalu Prasad Yadav ji has gone jail in 1997. Shri Narasimha Rao ji was convicted, former Prime Minister of the Congress Party, in 1999. And Mulayam Singh ji, Mayawati, Raja were facing charges, so many. तो आज कुछ नहीं बात है. All birds of same feather has flocked together, nothing but to save their corruption, and most of the parties to save their family.
Well, let me take this to Dr. Sanjay Jha. Dr. Sanjay Jha, you know, nobody is coming out and saying that there should be a fight against corruption. It's a good thing to do. What are people saying? Let 14 parties get together, approach the Supreme Court to stop the agencies, to clip the wings of the agencies. That is one factor that has got all the different political parties who can't tolerate each other or tolerate the idea of any leader of these parties becoming a chief, becoming a prime ministerial hopeful. You know, they're fighting and competing with each other. But corruption and going against these agencies, they've all gotten together, number one. And number two, the biggest irony of all of this is that when Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes to Surat to file an appeal, where normally petitioners don't need to go, lawyers can do the job. Even that is made into a political opportunity, and the BJP calls it trying to pressurize the courts. And then democracy doesn't get into danger. Fighting corruption or use of CBI ED, democracy gets into danger. What kind of a corollary is this, and what kind of an argument is this?
Navika, I'm going to just quote to you a couple of examples that are actually from the horse's mouth. I live in Maharashtra, Navika, and you know that. I will quote to you two leaders who left the Congress party and joined the BJP. And guess what they both said? And these are public utterances. अब हम बीजेपी में आ चुके हैं, तो अब रात की नींद जो है बिल्कुल सुनहरी होगी, क्योंकि अब ईडी और सीबीआई का तो जो हमको एक धमकी और डर था, वो तो खत्म हो गया है। सुधांशु जी, ये आपके लीडर्स हैं, ये आपके राजनेता हैं, ये तो आपके बारे में खुलेआम दिन दहाड़े बात कर रहे हैं। तो आप कम से कम प्लीज डू नॉट कम on the channel and sound so bombastic in terms of morality. Number one. Number two, Navika, very important, and I think Priyanka mentioned that in the passing. Probably the most shameful episode. And therefore, when I heard Mr. Modi today talking, it sounded hysterical when Mr. Modi was talking about corruption and CBI's independence. I remember so many times you and I debated it on Times Now. The shameful episode where the CBI raided its own headquarters at midnight. The CBI chief had to file a case against the government to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court passed a verdict against the government saying what you did is illegal. I mean, you made a soap opera of what is considered to be an anti-corruption infrastructure of India. And Navika, a question again for the BJP and some of their supporters. What happened to the reform that was supposed to create Lokpal? 2013 में लोकपाल एक्ट कांग्रेस ने पास किया। 10 साल हो गए, आप किसी को पूछिए, does anybody know कि लोकपाल क्या है? मोदी जी ने चर्चा किया क्या लोकपाल के बारे में? And I think therefore this is the fundamental point. We are all, some of us are politicians, some of us here are hopefully neutral, but the larger question that the CBI is not called a Central Bureau of Intimidation. The Supreme Court, by the way, calls this government impotent on governance. I mean, I have never heard the Supreme Court of any country calling its executive so paralyzed, hamstrung, or, you know, completely incompetent as to be called impotent. And this is the public domain. You cannot brush this off. And last point, I was in Karnataka a few weeks ago. I'm going there again in probably a week or 10 days. I'm not joking, Navika, from the Uber driver down to a corporate executive, down to somebody else I met in a hotel. They all say that the 40% commission government of Mr. Bommai has resulted in the BJP making Karnataka into a Karnataka High Commission. These are WhatsApp jokes going on Karnataka. What a wonderful
then
state.
You're not,
the Silicon Valley of the
Well,
East.
then you're not giving the full version of the WhatsApp forward. The WhatsApp forward says there is 130% commission. There is the others are 70 and 80%. That is the full WhatsApp forward. Even in that, you know, Dr. Sanjay Jha, some part of the truth was censored by you. I don't know why. But Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, questions raised by Dr. Sanjay Jha need a befitting response, because there has been the midnight drama at the CBI, which did raise a lot of questions then, and those questions refused to go away.
As far as CBI is concerned, I would like to remind one thing. During Mr. Sanjay Jha's government, from which he is right now suspended, I would like to remind, when Lalu Prasad Yadav ji gone jail, and it was one Mr. UN Biswas who was the regional joint director of CBI, you know what has been done? The Bihar Vidhan Sabha passed an privilege motion against him, and he was asked to go and tender an apology in the garb of the constitutional authority of the speaker, so that any court cannot give any relief. And you are talking about that the CBI should be totally independent, and caged parrot word was used when the coal scam case. It was an affidavit given by Congress government that no political executive has seen the report. When it was asked by Supreme Court, CBI said the PMO has seen it. And you have not answered my question. Forget about, you name a single prime minister of your country, of your party, of our country, who was not come under the suspicion of corruption. Manmohan Singh ji, under coal scam, I told it. Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao got judgment against him in corruption. Rajiv Gandhi ji under Bofors case. And Indira Gandhi ji, again, she was indicted by High Court for corrupt practices during the election. Bhai, do to sazaye afta hai. And in the only case in the Indian history in which the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha bribery case, in which in the court of law it is proven that the Congress government survived because of the bribery. But since the vote of confidence cannot be questioned in the court of law, that constitutional immunity has saved your government despite it is proven in the court. तो मेरे ख्याल से वो सारी बातें सबको पता है कि क्या होता है, इसलिए मैंने सिर्फ एक ही क्वेश्चन पूछा था. Kindly name a single political party whose leaders were not facing charges of corruption before 2014 in the last 25-30 years. Kindly let me know, then try to put allegation on Modi ji and Amit Shah ji and BJP's government post
Navika, quick response.
Okay. Sanjay, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Sudhanshu ji, आपने बोफोर्स का नाम लिया, सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हाई कोर्ट का बहुत आप लोग चर्चा करते हैं, तो please be aware that the courts have closed the Bofors issue and saying there is not any corruption allegations against Rajiv Gandhi. The very fundamental point जो आपके आप बंगारू लक्ष्मण जी को भूल गए हैं, आपके पार्टी के अध्यक्ष हैं.
I don't. I'm going to ask my research team to check that. I'll have to stop you on that, Dr. Sanjay Jha. I don't think they've said anything about a clean sheet. They've only stopped the case against him
Rajiv Gandhi's name appeared in the list, but by that time he was no more, so his name was removed.
Exactly. There is a fine difference over there. So that's what research says.
There was no clean sheet at all.
सुनिए ना सुधांशु जी, आपके अध्यक्ष बंगारू लक्ष्मण जी तो अपने हाथ थे, कहते हैं ना रंग,
तो जेल गए थे ना,
तो क्या भाषण दे रहे हैं आप, क्या भाषण दे रहे हैं आप, समझिए. और
okay, all right, a very important point raised by Dr. Sanjay Jha, and I want to get in Suhel Seth on this. Suhel Seth ji, यहाँ झगड़ा इस बात का नहीं है कि कोई करप्ट नहीं है.
I'm amazed at the ridiculousness of the proposition. Are you competing on who's more corrupt?
Exactly. That is what the competition is all about.
The topic today is, does this country need to fight graft? A, B. I don't care if the CBI is corrupt or not. There is a court above the CBI. Are the courts indicting these people? The answer is yes. Mr. Sisodia is in prison thanks to a court order, not a CBI order. A, B. When the 2G scam happened, and more importantly, when the Supreme Court called the CBI cage parrot qua the Colgate scam, it was clear that the courts were intervening in the functionality of the CBI. So let's park that for a moment. What are we concerned about today, in today's India? My belief is that we should be concerned about the fact that there is corruption which needs to be snuffed out. A, B. I totally agree. Corruption has to be party agnostic. It can't be that only a few parties are corrupt and no one else is. That's for the political system and the courts to address and adjudicate on. But there's a bigger issue here. If you don't repose faith in institutions, investigative agencies like the ED, like the CBI, you'll be left with nothing. Let's take the example of Bengal. The enforcement directorate didn't go and plant 73 crores in Partha Chatterjee's house. It was lying there. Should they have not found it? Should they have not arrested him? Should there be no investigation? Then you might as well hold up your hand saying that, oh, if the BJP is corrupt but is not getting caught out, we are corrupt and we are getting caught out, then our corruption is less evil than theirs. I mean, how can you be competitive on corruption? I'm unable to understand the logic. My other point here, which even Sanjay will agree, because Sanjay is in an animated state. I don't know whether to call him neutral or suspended, because this poor chap should be in the party since there's no one else who represents that party. My point is, forget Bofors for a moment. We are living in today's times. You tell me, the Gandhis have ruled this country badly, wisely, rightly. It's for the jury to be out. But how can you continuously knock institutions and expect the institutions to be fair? They will eventually evolve into handmaidens of the ruling dispensation, whatever ruling dispensation it is. Now, there are people who say the BJP is a laundromat. that the BJP needs to address. Sudhanshu has been on several programs where I've raised this issue. And to be fair to Sudhanshu, he has accepted not the fact that it's a laundromat, but yes, there needs to be clarity and probity. My limited point here is no one on this panel can say that India does not need to fight corruption. No one on this panel can say that the CBI should return to its 2014 definition of being a caged parrot. No one here has the argument that the Prime Minister must not talk about being anti-corruption. He's the Prime Minister. Of course he needs to talk about anti-corruption. We need to change the idiom of India. You may have a smirk on your face, it's irrelevant. The point is, do you want to stand for corruption or against corruption? That is the basic premise. On that, you will know who should play what role. My belief is that if the CBI is indicting people or arresting people or raiding people, the only recourse is the judicial system. But then people are making aspersions.
Yeah, because even that will have a question mark. And then if anybody acts, if there is a court order, democracy is in danger. If there is a CBI investigation, democracy is in danger. Are we making democracy a joke in this country? And that's my question that goes out to Mr. Brijmohan Srivastava. The point that Suhel Seth makes extremely important. Can we as a country say corruption is not an important issue? Corruption is not a battle that we should get into and fight? And secondly, when agencies do their job and the Prime Minister says, don't fear, the system and the Constitution stand by you and people of India want this fight against corruption to go on. Where is the lie in all of this? Tell me, Mr. Srivastava.
Navika ji, can you tell me a single name who does not want the society is a corrupt free? Everybody wants our society and the government should be corrupt free. Everybody wants that. We were listening to Honorable Prime Minister of India and we are very happy. But he should start cleaning from his home, not from the others. Why he has not taken any action against the Kiran Patel who was kept in the Kashmir and he was using the name of as an OSD of the PMO? Why the CBI has not gone to catch him? This is the question. Why Mr. Vishal Sharma is not taken in the account? You know, on the July 21st, 2015, Bharatiya Janata Party released a booklet in the presence of Honorable Prime Minister. And what they are saying? Water supply scheme 2010 in Goa and Guwahati. What has done till today? Why CBI not approaching them? The Prime Minister is saying he want to clean and the corrupt-free society. We are also happy. We will support him. We are also with him. But he should start this movement from his home, not from the others only. And he's not doing anything for their
so your case
peoples.
Is your case, Mr. Brijmohan Srivastava, that Partha Chatterjee's aide's house, 2,000 rupee note bundles and, crores after crores, trunks after trunks were brought out. The Prime Minister or the agency should not go there. They should go and start looking for people in the BJP where there is so far, nobody has said or given them information कि कोई corrupt है, वहाँ पैसे पड़े हुए हैं, पर उनको वहाँ जाना चाहिए ढूंढने के लिए. They should leave the the bundles of notes in Partha Chatterjee's house. And the courts who have gone on and not given bail to maybe a Satyendra Jain or Manish Sisodia or carried on cases against Mr. Chidambaram or others, they should not go there. They should only go and find for this. Is that an argument that stands, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi?
One quick point. I want to make one quick point. Whether it's right or wrong, the public narrative, whenever a politician of an opposition party is arrested or raided by the CBI, for that politician to say it is political vendetta is the worst thing. Because then what you're doing is you're absolutely discarding the faith in the institution that any common citizen will have.
And why
then you will make one minute, Mr. Srivastava, did I interrupt you? Did I interrupt you?
Listen.
Let me finish.
We have listened to you too much.
Let me finish.
My point is, Mr. Suhel,
my point is, it cannot be only political
why that
vendetta.
agency is not taking action against their peoples? This is
I
a
agree
question.
with you yet.
Why they
I've
not
already
approach
said that.
Mr. Kiran Patel?
I've already said that. Only the problem is, if you had heard me, I said that. I'm only making a limited point. that even if there is corruption and you say it's political vendetta, you're undermining the corruption.
Yes,
we are not sitting here to teach
Saeed Faisal Ali, what is your point? You're speaking, I couldn't hear you. What is your point? Are you saying corruption ke against fight nahi hona chahiye?
No. What I am saying that Mr. Suhel Seth and the BJP spokesman, what they are trying to say that corruption is an issue. We all know that corruption is an issue. But if Sudhanshu Trivedi or anyone thinks that all opposition parties or political entities in the country are corrupt and only the BJP is honest, they are mistaken. Because remember, Mr. Trivedi, that still 70% of the Indians vote for these opposition parties, not for the BJP. Still the BJP's vote share is only 32%, meaning that still people have faith in these political parties. You do whatever you want to do. You do beat your drum that all other parties are corrupt and you are only honest. But remember that the black day in the history of the CBI and the history of the democratic India came in January 2019 when CBI headquarters was raided by CBI itself, when the CBI director was detained. What are you talking about? And you are talking about premium institution? It's not premium institution, it was the premium institution investigative agency. And now
it is not a premium institution. Saeed Faisal Ali, Lalu ji ko convict kiya, isliye it is not a premium institution. Just because Mr. Lalu Yadav has been convicted in this case by the CBI, आपको तो convenient लगेगा ही नहीं. क्यों लगेगा आपको convenient? क्यों आपको CBI अच्छी लगेगी? आपको तो नहीं अच्छी लगेगी. इसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं है कि आपको पसंद नहीं आएगी. पर सुधांशु त्रिवेदी,
मुझे भी अच्छी लगेगी नाविका, मुझे भी अच्छी लगेगी अगर ये सीबीआई भेजे अडानी के यहाँ. Why there is no action when money is seized from BJP leaders' house in Karnataka? Why there is no CBI investigation?
Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi is coming in, responding to all the charges made, lowering everybody's faders. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Navika. देखिए, Mr. Faisal Ali in his last sentence itself has admitted, if in Karnataka one of our MLA's son was raided and the amount was found, it shows the transparency of the government. Because in Karnataka our government is there, in central our government is there. हमारी अगर पुलिस biased होती जैसा आपका एलिगेशन है तो वहां जाती नहीं, जाती तो पहले बता देती कि वहां कुछ नहीं मिलता. That itself proves that under Sri Narendra Modi, Bharatiya Janata Party is working with full efficiency and transparency, and the investigating agencies are working with full autonomy. But when RJD comes to give a sermon, वो एक कहावत होती है ना कि सूप बोले तो बोले और चलनी भी बोले जिसमें 70 छेद. Manevar, from 1997 to 2023, from my youth age to mature age, I have transcended witnessing Lalu Prasad Yadav ji going in, coming out of jail, going in, coming out of jail. And in 2013, when this act was torn apart by Rahul Gandhi ji, फाड़ दिया गया था, तो उस समय तो लालू जी को ही बचाने के लिए हुआ था. And you are the people, again, I am repeating the same thing which I have said in my first statement. Your party has forced the UN Biswas, the then joint director of CBI, to come in front of Bihar Vidhan Sabha on a privilege motion just to intimidate CBI. And just one thing I want to ask. RJD says, वो तो गरीब गुरबा की सरकार थी ना, गरीब गुरबा की सरकार. और आज गरीब गुरबा की सरकार का परिवार बिहार का सबसे अमीर परिवार.
This arrogance will go away.
Sir, can you tell me? सर मैं अहंकार की तो बात कह रहा हूं. कैन यू टेल हाउ कम ए गरीब गुरबा was witnessing a bandi and putting a safa on his head, sitting in Patna, are having the share in the mall and farm houses in Delhi? बताइए. इसलिए हम आपसे बात कहना चाह रहे हैं, वो बात अपनी जगह है.
नहीं, सईद फैसल अली साहब, this question is a valid question. If Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav started his politics as a poor common politician, then where are the farmhouses coming from? Is a question Sudhanshu Trivedi is asking. Jawab dijiye.
Yes, let me answer. I hope you will give me time to answer.
Yes, you have 45 seconds. Please answer.
Navika, 24 places were raided, including Lalu Yadav's daughter Misa Bharti's residence in Delhi, Tejasvi Yadav house in Friend Colony, everywhere 24 places were raided. Why CBI is not coming out with the seizure list? What was seized? Why they are keeping silent? And I was present in the court when
is it your case that there should be a running commentary on what they have seized and what the case is, so that you can prepare your defense? Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Was politically motivated.
सुधांशु त्रिवेदी जी
No, why they are not?
जस्ट मैं एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूँ, जो फैजल अली साहब ने कहा, उन्होंने खुद बोला कि हाउस यहाँ पर और दूसरा फ्रेंड्स कॉलोनी में दिल्ली में हाउस, यही तो मैं पूछ रहा हूं सर। चलिए मॉल में आप छोड़िए, यू एडमिटेड दैट शी इज हैविंग अ हाउस इन द फ्रेंड्स कॉलोनी ऑफ दिल्ली विच इज द प्राइम एरिया, A+ कॉलोनी।
No.
हाउ कम दे हैव मैनेज्ड टू गेट इट? प्लीज टेल मी। गरीब गुरबा का परिवार था ना, बड्डी पहन के बैठते थे, एंड हाउ दे मैनेज टू गेट हाउस इन फ्रेंड्स कॉलोनी दैट विदाउट डूइंग एनी बिजनेस और विदाउट डूइंग एनी जॉब। प्लीज टेल मी।
सईद फैसल अली साहब, आप थोड़ा फंस गए हैं। फ्रेंड्स कॉलोनी का घर बड़े बड़ों को नहीं मिलता, बड़े बड़ों को खरीदने में दिक्कत हो जाती है, और पुश्तैनी जायदाद ना हो या कोई बहुत बड़ी लॉटरी ना निकली हो तो फ्रेंड्स कॉलोनी का घर तो मुश्किल ही है। पर प्रियंका कक्कड़, today you are in cahoots with the same party, taking this whole petition to the Supreme Court to clip the wings of the agencies. The same Lalu Prasad Yadav who has been convicted, the same Lalu Prasad Yadav who Arvind Kejriwal had really made an issue of in the India Against Corruption days. You're all together on the same petition, signatures are there. Isn't that ironical?
Navika ji, let me state it with full responsibility that Aam Aadmi Party will not tolerate even a single rupees corruption. We are the ones who ensure that our ministers are they're removed from their post if a single allegation is even surfaces.
Well, Satyendra Jain took very long to be removed from his post.
I hope you ask the same question to BJP if they removed any who graft charges were alleged against.
If there was anybody who was in jail, have they kept them on their
seat? Ji, I think
if you can make a point, I'll definitely ask Dr.
Sudhanshu ji, I think Sudhanshu ji is very capable. Let me please speak.
कौन सा मिनिस्टर जेल गया और जेल में मंत्री बन के रहा? नहीं, आप बताइए ना. You raised an issue. No, ma'am, you raised an issue against my fact.
I hope there is only one BJP spokesperson on the show.
What is the fact that I have made an error on? Please tell me.
Let me please speak to Sudhanshu ji.
Tell me which minister the BJP kept in position in chair when he was in jail. Please tell me.
आपको पता नहीं नविका जी, इनके अगेंस्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन ही नहीं हो रही. हमने कितनी कंप्लेंट्स डाल दी है.
तो फिर ये मुद्दा अलग है. ये मुद्दा अलग है, but you try to get me,
let me please address.
You can't make a false fact.
I am not making a false fact.
And then try to score a brownie point on a debate. Suhel Seth,
have they removed the Karnataka wala Bhajpai? Have they removed him? जिसको arrest करने की बात कर रहे हैं. Have they removed him? Now please let me please speak.
उसके बेटे ने किया, बेटा जेल में.
नहीं. वो CBC ने ये भी कहा कि पिता के पास 8 करोड़ मिला. Now please let me make a point. Sudhanshu sir से बात करने दीजिए.
Are we comparing the comparables? Number one, Suhel Seth. And I'm not asking a politician this question.
Sanma को Sudhanshu ji ने कहा.
Okay, 1 minute. I've asked him the question.
Corrupt है. 2 मार्च को कांग्रेस संगमा को सबसे पहले करने दिया.
That I agree with. But not your first premise.
Of course you have to
not
agree
your
with that.
first premise.
ये अपने पास
not your first premise.
इनको
Do not twist facts. Do not twist facts.
No. That Maharashtra.
The floor is yours.
So Priyanka, your point is valid.
No, thank you,
Since
Suhel.
there is no investigation, there can't be any indictment.
Yes.
So 1 minute. That's your point? You have recourse to the courts of...
taking a name as well.
I didn't interrupt you, so stop interrupting.
I'm taking a name.
Let me finish my point.
Yes, please.
My point is very simple. If the investigative agencies are not investigating people in the BJP, the only recourse you have is to take the matter to court.
It'll take a few years.
What?
Our reputation is ruined.
Did I interrupt you? Let me finish. I mean, this mannerless way of interrupting is unbelievable.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah. Now, my limited point is that you have full recourse to the courts of law. Instead of going with a petition to stop agencies from investigating, why don't you go with a petition with proof against those BJP leaders? It would sort everything out. My only limited
Courts will
objection
take time,
and I
sir.
will
By
finish
then our
with this.
reputation is
Courts
ruined.
take time.
By then
Courts
our
will
reputation
take
is ruined.
time.
Debates
So
like
we
this.
don't want to go to the court.
no.
Yet we say
No,
democracy
we are
is in
going to the
danger.
courts.
My question
please.
tonight is: are now courts and investigation
I'll
agencies
tell you-
only meant for the common man? भाई इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट, सीबीआई डिपार्टमेंट, ईडी, ये सब जो है ना बिजनेसमैन और सिटीजंस ऑफ इंडिया के लिए बना दीजिए. पॉलिटिशियंस को हटा दीजिए इस लिस्ट में से, क्योंकि पॉलिटिशियंस ऑपोजिशन में भी कन्वीनियंट नहीं है और इनका कहना है कि बीजेपी में भी कोई क्वेश्चन
मेरे पास एक सजेशन है सीबीआई ठीक करने का.
So this should be unleashed on the common people of India because politicians are above this. Is that something that democracy will support? That's the question I leave for the viewers tonight to think about, to chew on, because this is an argument that is going to go on till the cows come home, or at least till the elections of 2024. We'll debate this again because this is not an issue that's over anytime soon. We'll come back to this debate on another day, but thanking all my panelists and going to debate number 2 coming up on the other side. Ladies